Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Saturday, the 24th of Jumadul Ula, 1445, corresponding with the English date, 9th of December 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this majlis by quoting the ayat of the Quran Majid, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu attaqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. Hazrat Wala is saying, or rather just goes off on a personal point there, saying that it is actually the winter season, sardi ka zamana hai, and the doctors have told me to be very cautious during this time. In fact, before, once I had some effects of a stroke already. Nevertheless, Allah Ta'ala bless us with both zahiri and batini, external and internal health. Allahumma inna nas'aluka sihhata wal iffata wal amanata wa husnal khulq wal rida bil qadr. This year is a very all-comprehensive dua, bari jami dua hai. Now, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, don't think that I've learned these duas, but Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to quote the duas of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam repeatedly, and so many different duas, so quite often, due to which we heard it so many times that we remember it today. So Allah Ta'ala, look at this particular dua of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam firstly makes mention of good health. Sihhat. Allahumma inna nas'aluka sihhata. Oh Allah, we ask you for excellent health. And after that, it is greatly possible that after Allah gives you good health, you may get involved in sin, evil, unbecoming things. So Allah Ta'ala speaks about chastity. That I can give you health, if I give you health, that listen, you need chastity as well. Allahumma inna nas'aluka sihhata wal iffata. Allah, I ask you for health and chastity. Now, just see, the dua came out involuntary, bila ikhtiyar, and then I'm quoting it here to you and making kalam on it. Wal amanata. And oh Allah, I ask you for trustworthiness with Allah and with people. Majalis, gatherings are bil amana. Sometimes a person sits and whatever he's saying there has to be kept secret. It is with amanat. Allahumma inna nas'aluka sihhata wal iffata wal amanata wa husnal khulq. Oh Allah, I ask you and implore you for good character. Wal rida bil qadr. And I ask you for contentment and being pleased with that of your decision and with that of taqdeer. Allah ko yahi manzoor hai. Keep this in your mind, that Allah Ta'ala planned this. Allah Ta'ala wanted this year. I am happy with it. The kitab that I have in front of me is that of Dasturu Salikin liqurbi Rabbil Alameen. So this year is a very, these kitabs, they should most definitely be read. But this is why I tell you, alas, what's happening? This is why I tell you that learn Urdu, because there is so much of knowledge in Urdu. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala then goes to the kitab and starts quoting. Jis tarah har jamaat mein kote aur kare hote hai, isi tarah se tariqat ke andar bhi kare aur kote paye jate hai. Jo shakhs Shariat ji. Okay. So let's continue now. Just as they are genuine people, just as there are genuine and fake people in every group, the same can be said about people in tariqat. The same can be said about people in tariqat. The person who does not practice on the tariqat and does not follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is most certainly not eligible to accept bay'at. He is definitely not qualified. He is definitely not qualified to be a peer. The Quran states, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. My mind was a bit scattered there. Just listen to that again. The person who does not practice on the tariqat and does not follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is most certainly not eligible to accept bay'at. He is definitely not qualified to be a peer. So here we're speaking about genuine and fake. Hazrat Wala is saying it is for this reason that we go to the mashayikh, so that we can correct and rectify ourselves. And does it mean that when we get ijazat, we go out and we start making bay'at to everybody? Is it that? No, even after ijazat and being blessed with the mantle of khilafat, come and sit in the khidmat of the Shaykh. Bay'at is no ordinary simple thing. It is something very, very great. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, on one of his journeys, in fact, in the end, he became Marja'ul Ulama, Marja'ul Khalaik. Everybody started flocking towards him, sitting at his feet and drinking from his fountain. And people would come in the hundreds. And then he did not like that. Okay, do you just throw out a rope there and everybody holds the rope and they want to come into the silsila, etc.? No, he was not too happy about that. And what did he say? I mean, people just come and they sit there. Say that, may kam as kam ye kaho, at least say so much. Has it just become customary that I wish to come into the silsila, मैं बैत होना चाहता हूँ? Not just that you come there, sit, hold the rope, say something and stand and walk. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. O believers, continually fear Allah and remain with the truthful. We learn from this that a peer is only appointed from those who are truthful. A person who is one who is truthful to Allah, truthful to Allah's servants. He is one who does not have the qualities of envy, jealousy, pretension, and offensiveness in him. He is true in his submission to Allah. He is true in his submission to Allah. So listen to that. After quoting the ayat there, ittaqullah, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. ए ईमान वालों, खुदा से डरो और सच्चों के साथ रहो. तो पीर सच्चों ही को बनाया जाता है. सच्चा वो है जो अल्लाह ताला के साथ भी सच्चा हो और अल्लाह के बंदों के साथ भी सच्चा है, जिसके अंदर जलन, हसद, मकर, ईज़ा रसानी न पाई जाती हो, अल्लाह ताला की सच्ची ताबीदारी करता हो. लिहाजा कहा गया, it is for this reason that it is mentioned in the Quran Majid. The Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullah wabtaghu ilayhi alwasilata wajahidu fi sabilihi la'allakum tuflihun. Now just look there. When we speak about honesty, look at what is actually mentioned by honesty. The one who does not have these qualities. Which qualities? That of envy, jealousy, pretension, and offensiveness in him. Okay, now Allah Ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullah wabtaghu. Okay, before we carry on there, you know the ayat that came on top? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. Hazrat Maulana Abdul Ghani Pulpuri has his very famous and celebrated discussion on this year, which is mentioned in Ma'iyat Ilahi, his kitab Ma'iyat Ilahi. This is a fantastic discussion there. So in there he mentions that the entire of tariq is encapsulated in this particular ayat, that, O people of Iman, continually fear Allah. So the asal and the origin is, we go right back to that, fear Allah. Continually fear Allah. And if you want that there, how would you achieve that? Kaise hasil hoga? Remain with the truthful. Stay with the truthful servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, outwardly something may be there which is displayed, but inside it is something totally different. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with ikhlas and sachai. So yeah, Allah Ta'ala says, O believers, in this particular ayat, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullaha wabtaghu ilayhi alwasilata wajahidu fi sabilihi la'allakum tuflihun. O believers, continually fear Allah and search for a means of access to Him and wage jihad in His path so that you may attain happiness. Now the person who is a means of your pleasing Allah, making Him happy and earning His mercies, is known as a murshid and a mentor. Erudite scholars are of the opinion that the words وَابْتَغُوا إِلَيْهِ الْوَسِيلَةِ, search for a means of access to Him, actually refers to a murshid, this mentor. In the previous verse, what was said, this was expressed in the words Kunu ma'as-sadiqin, remain with the truthful. So, mentioned first in this particular ayah is that of amanu, iman, and then ittaqullah, taqwa. After these two, search for a means, meaning search for a murshid and do as he says. This is the third injunction. The fourth instruction is wage jihad in His path. In other words, strive in Allah's path. Wage jihad against your nafs. Strive against your personal comforts. Allahu Akbar. Undoubtedly, the demand of search for a means, which is an additional thing after Iman, which refer to as a search for a mentor and doing as he says, and then striving in every possible way to acquire Allah's pleasure, having been mentioned in this particular verse. Thus, these rulings of tariqat and Sufism are not something new. They are ancient. They have been coming down from the era of prophethood. The dhikr and other spiritual exercises of Sufism have also been coming down since that time. Now, the Sahaba had been doing the zikr. It is Hazrat Shah Waliullah has mentioned that the Sahaba used to make dhikr in their khalawat. They continued until they became radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. Allah was pleased with them and they were pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, all these spiritual exercises and whatever we are doing, in the name of all of this, we wish to achieve the rida and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're speaking about this erudite and this true peer and sheikh, which is this whole discussion here, which started off with the genuine and the fake, and we went right through till the end of this particular article. On that point there, Hazrat Wala speaks about his mentor, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, that on one occasion some type of ice cream, sweetmeats, etc. was brought in front of him. He may have just taken a scoop or 1 teaspoonful and thereafter passed it on to his nawasa, his grandson. And then he went on to say that, listen, you eat it rather, I would eat it and commit sin. Usko kaake gunahi karunga. I will disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, these were these Buzrugan-e-Din, true in every aspect and in every sense, and this is how, or that level was that of their mujahada. However, nevertheless, खूने दिल पीने को, लखते जिगर खाने को, यही ग़िज़ा मिलती है जाना तेरी दीवाने को. You would definitely have to undergo sacrifices in this path. Things will come which are difficult, which are against your nature. खूने दिल पीने को, लखते जिगर खाने को, यही ग़िज़ा मिलती है जाना तेरी दीवाने को. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayah to walk this path to Him. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayah of being considerate of the etiquettes of this path, the adab. And at every given point in time, Allah Ta'ala let us do the works which are pleasing to Him. So Allah Ta'ala let us walk this path, and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala bless us with reaching as well. What to say and what to do. Now, people, the thought of the Akhirah doesn't even come into their mind. So this sacrifice that we carry out or we undergo, there is a huge, tremendous, enormous reward for it. The work is a little and the reward is in abundance. Allah Ta'ala give us that courage. It's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. So when we go there and we are admitted, or when a person is admitted into Jannah, after that, दाखिल होने के बाद निकलना नहीं. Once you enter, then you in. Then there will only be peace and comfort, etc. Allah Ta'ala protect us. Today, different types of things are coming in front of us. Different types of light, roshni, this here, that there, the other. We see when we go outside that to even look after our eyes then becomes difficult. When we went to Bombay, on one occasion, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb emphasized to us so much on safeguarding the eyes, looking after and protecting one's gaze. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal on the ta'limat of our Buzrugan-e-Din. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.